And by the spring of 2006, she had gone on to be with the Lord. I stepped on the bank of a river in January of 2017. And I was told that I had cancer, and it was ovarian cancer. Immediately, my mind went back. I've heard the stories. I've heard the stories. I wasn't there. I didn't experience what she experienced as she was going through it, but I heard the stories. God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to step in this river. I don't want to step in this river. But you see, just like the priests, I had the presence of God with me. There was no other way to get to my promise except for going through the river. And so I bore that testimony on my shoulders, and for 6 months had to stand in that river, watching people go through their stuff and just whizzing right on by, wondering if I would ever come up out of that bank, if I would ever see the other side where the promise was. When I think about those priests and they standing one in front of the other and not being really able to engage, it reminded me of the chemotherapy chairs that they have for you at the hospital. You're side by side, but you really don't engage all that much. There's a little curtain that separates you. You're going through together. You're standing in the riverbed. You're standing all together, but you are right by yourself. And it's only the presence of God that keeps you and that reminds you that there is a promise, that there is a promise. The second point that I want to make to you is the memorial in the river. Joshua 4, verses 4 through 7 really spell this out. And paraphrased, it says that after everyone had crossed the river, Joshua chose 12 men to go back into the riverbed and pick up these big stones and carry them on their shoulders. And what they built was a memorial, so that later on, when your children and your descendants ask, what do these stones mean? You can remind them, that's when we crossed through this Jordan. And that's when we've experienced the salvation of the Lord. It took 6 months for me to cross through that river. And it took. And once I finally got there, there was freedom, there was relief, and then the memorial. What could I do to set up a memorial? And so naturally speaking, my hair. If you did not know me before, Christine, if you'll wave, I look like her. My hair was straight, it was brown, and this is a reminder that I bore that testimony in that river. It's a reminder that God is good. It's a reminder that He does keep His promises. And another thing is that we've got to grab onto those stones. We've got to grab onto those stones of remembrance, because the thing is, if we don't continue to tell the story, and if we don't have anything that's set up, whether in our hearts or in traditions or in things that are tangible, we just might forget, and we don't ever want to forget the things that the Lord has done for us. During that time period, my pastor, God bless him, Randy Simmons, some of you may know him. We go to Holly Grove Church, and so he had the opportunity to go visit the Holy Land. And this was during the time when I was actually standing in the river, and he bought this for me, and this is called a kippah or a yarmulke, and it's worn traditionally by Jewish men and boys who are praying. And he had the chance to go to the Wailing Wall. In the Wailing Wall, people from all over the world come and they pray. They write their prayers on these little notes and they curl them up and they stick them into the cracks of the wall. While he was there, he wrote a prayer for me. My name is in that wall. It's there. I don't know where exactly, but it's there. And this is a reminder. This is a memorial to me that I made it through the river and that it was real and that God did what he said that he was going to do. And this, you know, I never really understood the significance of the wall because, you know, we love Jesus and I can go anywhere and pray. I don't have to go to a wall. But listen to what it says in 2 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 20. It says, "May your eyes be open towards this temple day and night, this place of which you said you would put your name there. May you hear the prayer your servant prays towards this place." So he's hearing the prayers of his servants when they pray towards this place. And so I've gone through the river. I've got my stones on the other side of the river where God has moved, and it's a testament to those who see me, who see this, who see, you know, curly hair. They know that God was at work in my life. And so the last point I want to tell you about is the monument that's in the middle. In Joshua chapter 4, verse 9, says that Joshua, after having crossed over, he went back into the river. Now, mind you, the priests are still in the river, and they're still bearing the weight of this testimony. And so, but Joshua goes back into the river, and he assembles stones of his own, right where the priests stood. Sometimes, when we build these stones, we build these monuments and these memorials for those to see, but then sometimes it's just you and Jesus. Only you know what the two of you have been through. Only you know how you cried at night. Only you know how he held you when no one else could. And I wonder if that was the memorial and that was the monument that was most precious, because the stones on the west bank of the Jordan were visible to anyone who wanted to look on, but those stones in the middle, that's what you remember. And those stones in the middle is what we ponder in our hearts, because really only you and Jesus know what happened there. My battle with cancer after I was diagnosed lasted about 6 months, and you know, my hair started growing back, and I started growing back enough to where if you didn't know me, you would have never known that I had cancer. But you know what me and Jesus know? We know. And last week, I had a scan. That scan shows a spot on my liver. I don't know if I'm on the bank of another river just yet, but the thing is, he's there. I'm going to continue bearing the weight of that testimony, and that testimony is that God is able to do above and beyond what I could ever ask or imagine. What he's done before, he can do it again, because the thing is, I built a history with him. I have a history with Jesus. People can't tell me that he's not real. People can't tell me that he is way up high and looking down low. I mean, I talked to him this morning. He's real and he's tangible. The thing is, it doesn't matter whether it's in life, it doesn't matter if it's in death. The promises of God are real, and they are yes and amen. The word tells us that. And the word says that he honors his word above his name. by which all things are held together. All things. So he will hold me. And I've got good news for you. He will hold you. For those of us who are found in Christ, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We all have a middle. And I'm not talking about just, oh yeah, everybody's in the middle of something. Oh, you know when you're in the middle. You know. You know when your feet are fixing to touch water. You know that. But I want to encourage all of us. The middles don't last forever. The promised land is just on the other side. And when we go by that river, we can say, yeah, that was when Jesus healed me. That was when he saved me. That was when he did a work in my life. That's when he did a work in my family. That's when he did a work in these girls. Some of these girls, I can tell you, they accepted the Lord because I was there. I remember. I see that stone. I see that stone. And you might be in the middle right now, and if you ask the Lord to live inside your heart, we can all take comfort in knowing that he's right there with us. And like the theme verse says, that our labor is not in vain, we can stand fast in him. And he knows what he's doing, because like Shannon read, all things work together for good to them who know the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Now, if you're in the middle right now and you've not made the decision to follow Jesus, I've got good news for you this morning. He's here, and he wants ever so much to meet you. Ever so much to meet you. To have you to come into his arms. And you can feel the weight of his presence. When you're in that middle, you can feel the weight of his presence. Just like those priests did. He will be right there, prevent those floodwaters from overtaking you. And so I invite you to come. If you don't know him as your Savior, I invite you to come. Because he's sitting here with arms wide open. And he's saying, you know what? I don't like the middle any more than you do, but you know what? I can use you in the middle. And your testimony will be greatest on the other side. My promises are there and they're true. And so if you don't know him today, I invite you to come in. He's the best thing you'll ever know. God bless you.